Hey guys, how you doing? Search in YouTube for bug bounty tutorial Uday Datrak guys. I have already uploaded around 80 lessons. Start from lesson 0. So I have covered around 100 unique security issues in the web application. Now we'll learn about automation tool guys. You guys have been using the Zap tool before, so let's talk a little in depth about the tool guys. So now let's try to understand the Zap tool itself first. Open file location. There are in this folder I have the files. If I try to open this particular we have some properties files and everything, but I want to know what all the issues can be checked by this tool. So I'll simply search for one issue like XSS guys. So now it is showing this particular file locations. I'll simply select that particular one file, any file, right click, open file location. Now let me try to open this file with notepad plus plus guys. If you don't have it, try to install, it's a good tool. Now in this it is showing something like alert insufficient authorization. I just want to know what all the security issues will be checked by the Zap tool. But if I run the Zap tool on a particular website, that website might be having only few issues. So if you want to know like what all the complete set of security issues will be checked by the automation tool like Zap, I'll just simply check for this alert box, these are XML tags, I'll try to make a list of, sorry, like my new keyboard. Integer overflow, one issue. Insufficient transport layer protection, remote file inclusion, format string attacks, buffer overflows, cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, denial of service, brute forcing on login credentials, brute forcing session identifiers, brute forcing files and directories, brute forcing credit card information, content spoofing, information leakage, server misconfiguration, application misconfiguration, directory indexing, improper file permission, credential and session protection, SQL injection, improper input, insufficient. Okay, so you now know that, I'll just keep silent. You guys can see now. So don't underestimate this tool guys. Now you guys know how many issues it has been checking. Now I just want to keep in a particular file, so that now don't do this for the commercial tools guys, it might be illegal, but you can try to know what is an open source tool is doing. You can, so I don't know about other tools, so we'll try to focus on Zap. We can check for this. Now I'll simply go to command. I'll do it for you guys, so that why you need to do the which I to send find str alert, right? Alert is the tag in that we have the security issues categories. Okay, now I want to search in all the file for this particular keyword, and I want to push it in a particular file greater than symbol hi.txt. Okay, now I'll open hi.txt file. I can see these are the vulnerabilities.xml file. Okay, now I'll control C. I'll try to remove that particular file name, and these are the issues. Now I'll try to remove this from every alert, and then this one remove. Now we have got the issues. Now I'll open the Excel. Oh no man, again we have this particular. Okay, I now do some other approach. Sorry guys, control Z. Okay, now am I doing control Z completely? No, this one is okay. This approach gone wrong. Let me do it once again. Yes, now I'll just open the sheet, control V. The first tab is gone, file names, and I'll just take it from control C. don't worry what I'm doing, guys. I'm just trying to take down the unique security issue names so that I will give it to you guys in the description section. So what Zap capable of doing it, because even if you run on the 100 plus softwares, you cannot know that what all the complete set of issues can be checked by these tools. So we need to know this thing so that we'll become 100% confident, like if client asks what all the issues have been checked when you run the automation tool, what all the tool is gonna check, you simply give this list. This is the thing, 1867 unique. How it can check 1867 unique, man? Okay, got it, guys. This is those are the different languages, guys. So we had the different languages there. Okay, now I'll only focus on English here. Okay. The reason why I'm doing is, okay, like XML injection, SQL injection, XML attribute path, XBomb, SSI injection, SOAP array abuse, OS commanding, LDAP injection, HTTP request smuggling. These are the complex issues for you to remember, because those are not the frequent issues in the web applications, right? So these are the issues are taken care by the Zap tool. So you need to be, you feel little confident. The only thing is you have to make sure that you are using Zap tool properly. Now here the second thing is that, let's say there is a website. If you are doing security testing, Zap will send too many requests per second, right? So you can slow down the Zap tool as per your requirement, guys. For that you need to go to am I recording? Yeah. Go to active scan. Yes, number of concurrent scans. Okay, so it will be, for you it will be something like concurrent scanning per host, it will be 20, guys. You can make it to 70, and delay milliseconds 300. That means per second it will send only 3 to 4 requests, guys, or else it will send too many requests to a website. So initially when you start the scan, you could see thousands of requests, but those are just crawling the URLs from the website. It's not the actual request sent by the actual payloads sent by the attack vectors sent. It's not the actual attack vectors sent by the Zap proxy tool, guys. So it's just crawling all the pages fast, but when it tried to send the payloads, it will send slowly, 300, like 1000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second, guys. When you give 3 seconds, so hardly it will send only 5 attack payloads per second. So this is how you're going to put here 300 and the connections here in the active scan tab. This is important to remember, guys. Now you know that this is the set of things can be checked by the tool. So there is a page, let's say a website is having commonly, as in my previous lessons I told you, like how to use the particular, what do you say, don't worry about this, I'm going to cover as a cheat sheet in a separate video section, guys. Let's say as soon you open a website, guys, when you browse the website, fill the forms, right, you will try to focus on registration page, login page, forgot password page, profile edit page, or anything, right? Make sure that you don't click on the logout page, guys. In the Zap proxy you need to remove it, because once you log out, the session will be invalidated, then the Zap proxy cannot check for the security issues in the internal pages. Even though if you record that session in the Zap tool, but the session is invalidated, right? Most people will forget 3 important pages when they check for security issues in the web application, either manually or automation, guys. Can you guess what are they? For example, when you check for issues on the forgot password page, if you give a valid email address, a link will be sent to your email address, right? That's called as password reset link. You also need to automate scan that password reset link, guys, or else you can do it manually, because most people forget it, because that's the link will be sent to your email address. That's the reason why you need to check for issues on that. Second thing is the subscriber page. Most people forget to check for security issues on the subscriber page, because it is just the link somewhere at the bottom of the page, right? So, and unsubscribe link page, you cannot see unsubscribe link page on the website, guys. You will see only this page in your email address. When you subscribe, you will be getting an email. In that, somewhere in the below corner, you will be seeing a unsubscribe page. So why I am focusing on these things is that, like for example, password reset link or unsubscribe link which you have received in your email address, using those 2 links, at least you can report 10 to 15 unique security issues like no anti-automation or brute forcing or autocomplete enabled or insecure direct object reference kind of issues. And OTP page, OTP, like you cannot just check for OTP or 200 response. You can also check for cross-site scripting SQL injection, guys. Similarly here itself, in the unsubscribe link and password reset link, you can check for the issues. So these things I'm going to cover as a cheat sheet. Like yes means can you check vulnerable version on the login page kind of thing. This is like old document which I given to one of my friend when I was teaching 7-8 years before. I have that in my email address, so I'll show you the same document, guys. Now the Zap tool, right? Did you guys remember previously what I told you? You cannot use the Zap tool on the registration page. Why? Because it will continuously register with the different attack vectors, and if it's a production database, millions of records, junk records will be inserted into the database. So can you check Zap tool on the login page? Yes, easily, even if it's a production environment. Why, guys? Because when you enter your username and password on the login page, those username and passwords will not be stored in the database, right? It is only taking your username and password, and it is checking in the backend. Can you use it on the registration page? No, guys. Millions of records will be inserted in the database. You need to ask the client. Even if the client says yes, you need to tell them, because client is not a technical person, right? You have to tell them that thousands of records will be. Can you check it on the forgot password page, Zap tool? Yes, guys. So because it's only matching whether the email address is there in that or not, right? And profile edit page, guys. Yes, because for your credentials or for whatever you enter in the registration page, there will be one row created in the database, right? As I shown you previously. So when you try to change your username, a record, the particular your username will be modified in the database, but no new record will be created saying that one more row in the database in the new username, right? Okay. The wall page, for example, post, there is a post topic. No, guys, because thousands of posts will be created by the automation tool. Yeah. Password reset link, guys. Yes, you can check it, because whatever the input, like password reset link will be something like reset.php !id equal to some token number. So when you click on this link, this number will be matched in the database at the back side. Let's say that's a random number matched, so it will not be creating any records in the backend. So it is safe to use here on this page, guys. It's unsafe to use this one here. unsafe, never use it on the login page, or else wall page, or else new topic page, you should not use it, or else comments page, you should not use it, or contact us page, you should not use it, because whenever you fill the contact us page, the email will be sent to the backend team, right? If you use the automation, any automation tool on these pages, thousands of records will be sent to them, thousands of mails, unsubscribe link page, yes, you can use it, because whenever you enter your anything on the email address on the unsubscribe page, it is simply checking for whether your email address there in the database and unsubscribing, but it's not creating any records in the database, right? So remember, these 5 are very important, these things. So in short, you can say as if the record is getting created or a persistent page is getting created page on the server, then it for such pages you cannot use the zap zap scanner tool, guys. So what is the best approach, guys? Let's try to play with them. One of the I'm going to show you a couple of let's say I'm a noob, guys, I'm a fresher kind of thing, and assume that I don't know anything. How I'm gonna check? This is for learning purpose only. What was the pages? I forgot what pages. Okay, Datrak. Okay, let's try to play on the Datrak application itself. Okay. Now if I try to enter something on the login page, okay, now I'll try to check for the issues only on the login page, guys. So what is the page name here? In the Burp Suite, you can see whatever I entered username password on the login page. I'll not select this particular folder to scan, guys, to be careful. So I'll only check for issues on this particular page. As you can see, not this page, sorry, yeah, here I can see whatever the username password which I entered here. So I'm targeting only particular page, login page. So let's see how I'm gonna check for issues. I think I have covered this topic before, kind of thing. Now let's go to the alerts page to see what all the issues are reported. Can you see the tool is slow, because it's so far sent only 69, because I have given 300 seconds there. If you want to make it faster, you can. And did I tell you what all the payloads will be sent by the Zap tool? That can be seen in your log history itself, right? Now you are understanding end to end about how the tool is working, what all the payloads are sending by the tool. In the alerts tab, okay, process scripting reflected, okay, on the login page. See, without manually, I know that I can legally use the automation tool on the login page, because I'm not inserting any junk records in the database every time when I log in, right? So this is the importance of learning the backend skills. Can I use it on the forgot password page? No, guys, I don't want to use it there. So now you guys understood how to do it. This is the for fresher. You can select the page by page external pages and you can check it carefully, but not the sign up page. Don't touch this page, guys, for the automation scan. So what are the next? What are the top tools for? Let's cover that in the next video. I'll be showing you the top 10 automation tools to use it, so that you can understand when you are working officially how you need to use the tools carefully. So now let's decode some more, guys. Let's say where was that particular issues, list of issues, right? these are the list of issues, right? Let's say path traversal here. What is that? Path traversal. That means nothing but directory traversal dot dot slash, right? So did that issue was checked by the Zap tool on the login page here? It must check. Let's see. Since the request is sending as a part of get request itself, I'll see whether the dot dot slash kind of thing sent by the tool. This is called HTTP response. I can see that, but these are URL encoded. Let's say right click. Can I see copy URLs here? Right click, copy URLs to clipboard. Okay. You don't have to do all these things, just for learning purpose I'm doing it. These are SQL injection 1 and 1 kind of thing. It is trying to enter single quote, double quotes kind of thing to check it. Can you see, guys? Path traversal issue also checked on the login page. So that means just for particular parameter, it is trying to check for all these categories of issues which are highlighted here, one by one. LDAP, right? Star will be used for LDAP attack always. Yeah, username star response dot right, that's a different thing, but maybe URL encoded, that could be. Cross-site scripting, URL redirection, it is trying to send the URL, even though, because this doesn't know that, like, Zap tool doesn't know what that particular parameter meant for, so it will try to check for all those 50 types of security issues here, like one by one I can say it, but it's waste of time for you. It's like, it's called local file inclusion, or directory traversal, or URL redirection. Let me talk. EXEC command injection, DAR space, that's the command injection itself. Cross-site scripting to check cross-site scripting here, SQL injection here. Set cookie also we have seen somewhere, response.set cookie, like, somewhere. Yeah, set cookie, trying to see whether that's good, guys. So this is about the tool, guys. So be careful to, like, before doing something, I would suggest you to try to use Zap tool carefully, so you'll understand easily, like the way I have shown you. So if you follow the same approach, you should not be in any problem then. If you by mistakenly anytime if you come across registration page here, you also have the option to remove, guys, from the, like, can you see this particular page? Let's say if the logout page is shown here, if you want to scan a particular folder, and if you see some sensitive pages like registration page, you can do that. You can delete it, or else the logout page also you can delete it from here. Sometimes, very important thing, guys, sometimes here if you see the issue categories, in this there is no issue like, information disclosure through error messages, but particular login page itself we could see some path, right? Internal path, the path disclosure on the login page. This is a security issue, but this is not reported by the automation tool, so you need to see that also. Like, always see like HTTP response. I would say simply, let's say you are scanning the login page right here, right? Once it is completely scanned the login page, you see the HTTP response code here. It is 404 something, like, 404, forget it, it's not showing. Is there anything apart from 200 something? No. The first thing is done here. The second thing is, check for HTTP response size for the same, guys. Let's say initially for the login page, these are not the login page, it was only guessing the files on the server, the first 4 pages. 315, 330, what all those 315 here? What it is showing for 315 here? No, nothing. Can you see, guys, here in the back end there is a information disclosure in the comment, sensitive information in the comment. This issue also not reported by the automation tool. So you have to carefully manually review the pages too. Those issues were there. Information disclosure through error messages, right? Sensitive information in the comments, was it there? No, that issue is not there. And information disclosure or something, error messages. Oh, those categories of issues are not there in this. How it could be? Okay. So just never blindly don't depend on the automation tool itself, guys. So automation tool helps to find out the security issues tool, but manually check for every single page. So when you run an automation scan on a particular page like this, let's say I'll delete everything. If you want to understand in depth, now let's say I'll try to check it on the same page. It is shown the login page, right? Now I scanned. So what it is doing now? It is sending all the payloads based on the response. It is categorizing as an issues, right? So sometimes the tool may not detect some issues, but if it's a cross scripting or SQL injection, local file inclusion, that's okay. That will be reported by the tool. But like information disclosure or any other issues, so for that what you need to do is you just after the scan for that particular page, check 2-3 important things. HTTP response code, like try to see the different codes and see like any error messages or information is disclosed on the page, kind of thing. The second thing is try to see the HTTP response size. For example, when you enter the wrong username and password, it should be 351 itself, right? Or else like 4 to 5 bytes of difference. But if you see like let me complete the scan. Let's wait. Yeah, once the scan is completed, right? Now when I click this one, that means they are in order now, 200, 404. Now I'll try to see all the 404's response, like okay, there is an issue here, 404. What is the issue, guys? Here version disclosure, 2 different versions disclosed, one is Apache and PHP. And I'll also check for these 2 things in the Google, whether are they vulnerable versions or not. So we got the version disclosure, other one is vulnerable version. What is this page? Disclosing the same thing. Okay, fine. Now 200 is okay, that's okay, that's not an issue. What is there any other code? No. So we are done with this. The next thing is response size. The lesser size 171, that's okay. All are same, right? So I'll only take one. Okay, all good. Now 315. In 315, I'll only check for one response, not all 315s. Okay. In this one, third party domain, this is a security issue. Okay. Anyhow, that's also reported here. Could be? No, that's not reported here, guys. Can you see? So there's a security issue. And information disclosure through sensitive information in the comments, that's one more security issue. And the other one is config.xml. try to open that. When you see the path of this particular file in the command, try to open, just append /config.html here. Two ways, either you can apply here to confirm, because we are currently in this folder, right? If you don't see, yeah, you saw it, but it's not disclosing here, then control U, then you can see the username password. You cannot see always, guys. I wanted to put that. Now 315, right? 350. I'll try to take one request and see out of all this. All good. Is there any other? 351. In that I'll try to take one request. Quickly see, it's not a big deal. Yes. So okay, guys, so okay, I made a mistake, guys. You should see for HTTP, not for HTTP response size header, guys. Header means this is the part. You should check for HTTP response body. Sorry, guys. So you understood, right? This means it's showing some big response here, like 300 and 525. What it is about? Oh, whatever the input you are giving, it's reflecting back. So anyhow, we reported as a cross scripting, right? That's why, because here if you see in the request here, the attack vector, it is sending the big data here in the request tab, and the same thing is reflecting back. That's the reason why response header is big. So try to remember the code and try to focus on the least or the big one. Least one, this one, 281 and 14.1. Okay, these are closer because the size is varying a little based on the payload size, guys. Here sometimes username and password, here it's a different size. Can you see here, for 1600 200? So I think there is some problem, something is showing in the page. So we got some other path leakage, information disclosure through error messages. So even though issues are not shown here, for page wise, try to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes. In 10 minutes you should be in a position to check for at least 30-40 pages, guys. Here itself, it's a very quick process, right?